If you
And
put it,
we're
if you, yeah, yeah,
yeah, we're fucking
yeah, live,
live
live.
and in demand with our tiny ass audience.
Yeah, who's watching?
We are the
We wa-
most unwatched podcast on YouTube. Art and Teddy.
Yeah, nobody's watching. They should
People,
be.
people do watch. They just never watch when we're fucking live. They go in and watch the videos later when they're done.
If we made it gaming, it would automatically go on the gaming page, and then there'd be maybe more people would be watching. Because then, like on gaming, they have a whole list of live. You know what I mean? Because if I
Yeah,
go to YouTube's front page, it doesn't show me live. Can I see what's live right now? But on YouTube Gaming, it does have a button where you can see what's live right now. You know,
yeah.
there's people playing Candy Crush and shit on there. You know, Candy Crush. Who wants to watch somebody play Candy Crush?
Oh, we do have somebody in the audience right now. One of my buddies.
Hey,
Um, I'm
whoa,
considering
whoa.
I'm considering doing a live stream in my shitty Dark Side Phil style of the rest of the Metal Gear games, but I might just do those as a regular Let's Play. I don't know. I know I'm gonna do that though, because unlike every other game I've tried to do a Let's Play of, when it comes to Metal Gear, I actually want to play the motherfucker.
Yeah, well, do it, man, because I mean, you don't even need to show video of yourself. I don't show video of myself anymore. I just have a little picture at the bottom of the screen where it just says, you know, just a picture of me day. You know what I look like?
Well, I don't
Yeah.
do I don't do video of myself during Let's Plays anyway. I think it's stupid and it distracts from the gameplay. If it's
Mm.
somebody like Markiplier or PewDiePie who have really expressive faces, then it's fine. But I don't have a very expressive face.
Right, right. And I mean, if I could interact more, I would. But I don't see how I
You
can.
know what? I take that back. I did do one Let's Play in that style. I did the game Hatred, and that's the only time I've done it. And I'm glad that was the only time I did it because in that one it was funny because you get to watch me get progressively more and more pissed off as I'm playing it, or
Mm.
attempting to play it, I should say. It was like the controls for the game were on some kind of a cycle as I was playing it, and they were constantly shifting. I'd press up and I'd go left, and then I'd press up and I'd go down, and then I'd press up and I'd go up, and then I'd press up and I'd go down, and then I'd press up and I'd go left. I could not
Well,
fucking get
with
out of a room.
because of the control setup.
I
Were
don't
you playing
know.
on PC?
Yeah, I tried it with a controller. I tried it with a keyboard. The game was just glitching the fuck out. I said at the end of the podcast, I'm gonna go try to get my money back from Steam. They
Mm.
gave me the refund, thank God. Funny enough, they gave me
Yeah.
the refund, and if I had wanted
Oh,
to, I
good.
could have kept the game installed on my computer.
Oh, it's nice, even if it doesn't work, though. Yeah, it
Yeah,
doesn't
I,
work.
I installed it. I'm like, I'm never playing this fucking game again. Fuck this game. It is an exact clone, almost. I guess that's an oxymoron, exact almost. But
Almost.
have you ever heard of the game Postal?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
Postal.
Mm.
It's the first Postal, not the first person shooter, the old school one. Same kind of game, same premise, same objective, same feel. It's just a dude walks
Slightly
out his
different.
front door with a machine gun and starts icing everybody he sees.
There's
And
a
it,
new game out right now, just like that, actually. Where is he like you're jet black, and you got black hair, and wearing a black trench,
that's
and
that's the game I'm talking about.
you heard
You
Hello?
there? Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
that's the game I'm talking about, man.
What's it called again?
Hatred.
Hatred. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, I did a let's play of
I got.
Hatred,
Yeah, yeah.
and it
It's all black
fucking
and white.
yes, the end. Oh my god, man, the game is so graphically intensive. I don't understand why. Like, I don't have a great computer. It's
Mm.
decent, but I can run Arkham City on this computer, no problem. No problem. No lag. Runs like a dream. I'm so happy about that too, because Arkham City is one of my favorite games fucking ever. But with Hatred, for some reason, it lagged even on the lower graphics settings.
Oh, hey. All right. That's your video there. The hatred video.
Yep,
2015 game review and gameplay. That is hatred.
yep, with those big ass glasses
Sunglasses.
on.
Yeah.
I miss those glasses. I broke those fuckers.
Fuckers. Can you fix them? We're fixing them even with
I,
some duct tape. There's no shame in that. There's no shame.
I got another. I got another pair that are of way higher quality. I gave the old pair to my other buddy. He fixed them up, and he's gonna use them now. They're good for when they're good to wear when you're playing D&D because it keeps your eyes concealed, so the players can't read your eyes.
Mm. They don't know what's happening.
So yeah, let's talk about what's in the news lately. Like I said before we started, Rose McGowan. Anybody remember Rose McGowan? Anybody?
If you, she dated Marilyn Manson.
Oh
She
yeah,
was on that Charmed show for a while.
was she?
Uh, yep. She replaced Shannon Doherty. They were like, we need another crazy bitch.
Oh, she was in Planet
Yeah.
Terror.
Rose McGowan was an available crazy bitch, and they're like, this crazy bitch is available,
Well,
and so
she has recently shaved her head to look like Sinead O'Connor. She looks like shit now. And she says that the promotional posters for X-Men Apocalypse is what's the word I'm looking for here? It's promoting violence towards women because it shows Apocalypse choking Mystique.
oh, okay. I get that. I get that.
It does kind of
Um,
look like, I mean, I admit it does look like a picture like, are you being abused? Call 1-800 Stop the Pain or something like that.
yeah,
But
I mean, but come
it's a
on, it's
bad guy choking a good guy. This,
right. He's a bad guy. I mean, the idea, which I love, whenever I hear it is promoting violence towards women or something like that, right? And I'm like, yeah, but it's the bad guy doing that. Or when somebody says that something back in the day, they used to say like He-Man was satanic, right?
they can't like show them just staring at each other. That type of image suggests like equality, like equal sides going head to head. The point of the picture is to show the domination of Apocalypse because he's such a like worst case scenario in the story of X-Men.
Yeah.
As far as I know, at least, I'm not going to pretend to be an X-Men fan.
Well, the X-Men is kind of not great. Uh, I mean, it's really not very good.
Did you see it?
Hmm. And it's I mean, it's the weakest of the three, for
Uh,
sure. And if you didn't like the first two, then you probably won't like that one either.
I did like the first two, though. I liked First Class and Days of Future Past quite a bit, actually.
Well, then you might like this movie.
I heard Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones has a really, really, really bad American accent, though.
Um, it's I mean, his American accent. I didn't notice. I didn't notice that kind of
She
thing.
is not American. She is very British.
Well, I mean, okay. Everything that from past to future, present, right?
Hmm.
It's all basically the same. And while it seemed like they raised the stakes and shit, it really the stakes weren't all that raised that much. You know what I mean? There's a lot of the
Well,
same beats and the same stuff that from X-Men Days of Future Past, right? Very similar, except not Wolverine going back in time. Everything's happening now, right?
they
But
do.
once again, Magneto is like, "Oh man, I'm all pissed off again," right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we've been through this. We've been through this. And spoiler alert, they defeat the bad guy. And spoiler alert, Xavier and Magneto have a nice conversation at the
Yeah.
end.
I mean,
They're on good terms, and he's like, and once again, he's like, they'll come for you. You know, aren't you afraid of that? And he's like, I pity anyone who comes to this school looking for trouble, right? And I'm
here's
like, yeah, because what? They just defeated the ultimate fucking mutant of them all. Now what are they worried about? The police?
Phoenix.
I mean,
As far as I know, in the hierarchy of mutants, the only thing that's more powerful than Apocalypse is the Dark Phoenix.
and that's what already popped up in the movie.
Yeah, I know it did.
And
I figured they were gonna bring Dark Phoenix in just when I saw that
really,
Gray was
really
part.
early to do that. Really early to do that. But
But here's the problem: they kind of neutered the movie of any tension just by having it, because we see the end of Days of Future Past, and we know Storm isn't gonna die. We know Jean Grey isn't gonna die. We know Cyclops isn't gonna die. We know that fucking Xavier isn't gonna die. We know a lot of motherfuckers aren't gonna
well,
die in this movie.
the stakes thing is like the whole world's going to be blown up, but nobody's really going to die.
Yeah, because we've already seen into the future and we already know that everything turns out pretty much okay.
I mean, like nobody dies. I mean, like nobody. I mean, like what the major event is that everybody gets new costumes. Oh yeah, yeah. On several different levels, right? First of all, the bad guy goes around and gives everybody new costumes, right? Like
Yeah.
Angel, who is not Angel from the comics. Instead, he's like a pit fighting Angel who's got like one wing is injured and he can't fly anymore. And then he like makes him Cyber Angel guy, which is kind of in the comics. It is in the comics because Apocalypse did turn Archangel, but it's slightly different. It's there, but it's but then also he gives the powers to Storm. Storm, when he meets her, did not have white hair. He gives her white hair and amps up her powers, right?
See, that contradicts shit we've seen in earlier movies again.
But
Because
also he amps up Magneto's powers, which Magneto's powers were already like what? He picked up a fucking arena in the last movie, right?
well, I think in the
They,
comics he's so fucking powerful he can like throw the Earth's orbit off.
yeah. Well, I think what's going to happen, and they're even talking about if the next movie happens, and it probably will happen, it's going to be all the guys coming back to do it again. And I'm like, God damn it.
That's not the rumor I've heard. The rumor I've heard is that they're leading into doing another Dark Phoenix movie, and instead of Hugh Jackman, we're going to get X-23.
Well, the one thing that is hinted is in the movie is Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, that Mr. Sinister, who I guess makes clones or something in the
Yep.
comic,
Yep.
extracts some of Logan's DNA, which is what happens when they create X-23, the female Wolverine.
Female Wolverine. Those are the main things that's been confirmed. Is
Yeah.
Mr. Sinister and a female Wolverine.
See, I'm fine with that. I wouldn't mind. I'm kind of sick of Hugh Jackman at this point.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a way to get him out of the picture at least for a little bit while they give us a new Wolverine, which
I'm not.
will wear the mask.
I'm
Whoever
not.
comes after Hugh Jackman will wear the mask and the yellow tights.
I'm not even sick of Hugh Jackman. They don't always have to focus on Wolverine.
Well, Wolverine's in this one too.
Yeah, I know, but
It's like we
it,
can't not have Wolverine in it.
it's my understanding that in the grand scheme of X-Men, Wolverine is not really all that important.
No, but,
And
but in the
movies, like,
cinematic universe, yeah, he's
yeah,
central to all events.
he is. He is as important as Anakin fucking Skywalker.
Hmm. And he was at World War II and stuff like that. It's just
Yeah,
he's
he was there for
ridiculous.
all. He's fucking Forrest Gump. That's what he is.
Right, right. And in the Wolverine, we saw that uh he saved some guy in Japan in World War II. He
Yeah,
was there for the Civil War. No, no, no. He was there for the Revolutionary War, right?
World War II.
World War
Oh no,
One.
no, he was there for the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous.
He was there. Well, wait a minute. He was
That's
at he
yeah.
was at least there for early American wars. I don't know about the Revolutionary War. He might have been born after that, maybe.
That's that's what I want to see. I want to see I want to see Wolverine 3 come out. They call it Wolverine 3. Everybody's like, okay, and then he makes another one. Like he says, this is my final Wolverine when he makes Wolverine 3. But yeah, then they make another one.
Can you
Right?
imagine if they did
I
a
can
period?
imagine. I can imagine them making another one with Hugh Jackman again, and they give him like the young effects to make him look younger, right? And he's like literally traveling through time, back in time,
Can
right?
you imagine if they did like a full-on period piece movie though, and had him in the Civil War or the Revolutionary War? Like,
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
I
I want,
wouldn't mind seeing that either. That'd be kind of cool.
yeah, like the Abraham Lincoln vampire slayer or whatever, except it's Wolverine.
I never saw that movie. The title sounded too stupid to
Well,
watch.
I mean, the trailers are even more ridiculous because I don't know. He's just Abraham Lincoln, but in the trailers, he's like spinning through the air with two axes and like chopping trees down with one hit. Right? He like spins and then chops a tree down, and it explodes with like sawdust goes like, and the tree goes flying. It's like he's only Abraham Lincoln. Like,
Well, Abraham Lincoln could actually do one amazing feat of strength with a wood axe.
what was it?
He could hold his arm out at full extension and keep an axe parallel to his arm or horizontal to his arm, or wait, yeah,
Yeah.
horizontal and parallel to his arm with just two fingers holding the very end of the axe.
Hmm.
That doesn't sound hard, but fucking trust me, that is hard.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. He had to show that he was strong and stuff. I'm sure back in those old days, they had physical feats of strength that you had to do on a
Well,
regular.
I mean, he did it just to show off because he's a big, lanky motherfucker who chopped wood his whole
Right.
life, so he was strong. But he also had
Yeah.
Marfan syndrome, so he looked weird and he was built weird.
And moles. Oh, warts on his face. He had warts too.
I don't know if the warts or moles were a byproduct of Marfan syndrome or if that was just his skin.
But he had warts, I tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's what's big in the news. Marvel has just reacquired the rights to a major character that was in the possession of Fox.
Captain Marvel.
Nope.
Spider-Man.
Think even bigger, even more important and central to the Marvel universe.
I feel like you're being sarcastic.
Namor the Submariner.
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's
that's.
Marvel's Aquaman, right?
Oh no.
Except he looks like a muscly Spock in a Speedo, right?
Uh,
You know what I'm talking about. He's got little wings on his feet.
no, I have no idea.
He is the king of Atlantis in the Marvel universe. So he is Marvel's version of yeah, he's a king of the mer people. But he's really just a muscly naked dude. Uh, whose head he looks like Spock. He's got pointy eyebrows and pointy ears. He's elven, basically, and he's got little wings on his feet. And he's just like Aquaman, right? He's Aquaman for the Marvel universe. And
That's
he battled the Fantastic Four.
that's awful. That means that we are going to have fanboys debating between the lame DC Aquaman or the lame Marvel Aquaman.
Namor on the big screen in one way or another before Aquaman actually does it, just so he'll look that much worse.
The Marvel guys will be like, our fucking Fish King is way gayer. And DC will be like, no,
Way
man,
gayer,
nobody's
right?
gayer than Aquaman. We got the fucking monopoly on that shit.
He's just wearing a Speedo and nothing but. You're like, oh, yeah, well, this guy's got tattoos all over his body. Okay, all right. Well, this guy's got wings on his feet. Like, damn.
My buddy said Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, not Fox. I forgot about that.
Right. Yeah. So the major companies are Fox, Sony, and what's the other one that's got Marvel material? No, there's another company that owns a Marvel that they want to get the hands back on. I don't know who it
Disney?
is. Yeah. Well, I mean, because they can't use the mutants, but they can use Spider-Man for the most recent movie. So it's kind of a borrow thing. There's a deal.
They're apparently going to make more Spider-Man movies.
Yep. And those will be Sony films.
Oh, they will?
Yep. And Marvel's going to be able to help out. But they're still going to be, Sony still owns the rights, which is a weird deal. A weird deal they struck just to get Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War. But,
it's probably because of the massive failure of the last two Spider-Mans, and they really need some Marvel magic to ever be able to sell Spider-Man again, because people hated the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I didn't think it was that fucking bad, but everybody else was like, oh my god, this is Batman and Robin all over again.
I didn't think it was Batman and Robin at all.
I heard that comparison everywhere, man.
I did too. I mean, but I don't even feel that about Spider-Man 3. That Batman and Robin is Batman and Robin. I mean, Batman and Robin is insane.
I actually don't mind. I don't mind Spider-Man 3 either. The only beef the only beef I have with Spider-Man 3 is that Venom is not in it enough.
I mean, the dance number is kind of cringing. It is. You want to avert your eyes. Okay.
It doesn't bother me. The fucking Spider-Man movies are all corny. The second one
but I mean the dancing, and then he's like, check on this. So what if he says start snapping his fingers, and then
but the second one has that cheesy montage. The raindrops are falling on my head.
Well, I didn't really like that either.
And let's see. The first one.
I'm not even a big fan of any of the Spider-Man movies. I'm surprised.
The first one has the Green Goblin.
I hate that guy. I hate the way he was done.
The spider came up the water spout. Out came the goblin and washed the spider out.
Oh my God!
We'll meet again, Spider-Man.
They should have done anything with that mask instead of what they did with the mask, because that was dumb. I didn't like the way the eyeballs like opened, and then they didn't open all the way. They kind of stopped, like partially. I'm gonna partially open these sliding little glass things I have on my mask.
See, I
right?
didn't care that the Goblin looked like that because I thought about what the Green Goblin looks like in the comics. I'm like, there's just really no way to do this without it looking
Well,
stupid.
yeah, yeah. Put a rubber mask on the guy,
That would have looked just as stupid.
but it would have been stupid. It would have been what it was.
It
You know
would
what I
have.
mean? The Joker looks. If you go back to the first Batman, the Joker looks stupid
Hey,
almost the entire time he's on the screen. The makeup on his mouth to make it look wider than it actually is bad.
it
I,
is.
I can look at Batman and say that looks bad almost every time Jack Nicholson's on screen.
There's a
Well,
shot where he takes a drink out of a champagne glass, and I always wondered if the liquid just poured out of the sides of his mouth.
well, anytime he goes ooh, you see like the seams. It looks really weird, you know.
But at
And
the
that was
same time, it's got its charm to it. I mean, the whole movie looks bad now. It's a good movie, but it has not aged well in terms of special effects. You look at it and you're like, wow, everything is a matte painting. Only like
yep.
40 people showed up for this I'm dumping millions of dollars onto the road thing. Uh,
Everything
and
looks very staged. The models look like models.
everything happens in the same town square.
Hmm. The same set that they had.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, the movie's definitely got its charms, but we wouldn't still be watching it if it wasn't Batman.
Teddy, do me a favor. One of my
Yeah.
buddies is watching, and speaking of Batman, I want you to do your Bane voice for him.
Oh, can I see the chat? Where's that? Okay, chat. Click on the chat. No, I don't see that. I don't see any
No,
chat.
he's not in here with us. He's watching the
Okay. The Bane voice. Let me see.
do the
What
you
did Bane say? Well,
merely adopted.
there was this bit I was thinking about doing where the guy was doing a Bane voice, but it just sounded like Yoda. It was like, like that's not right. You're like, what are you talking about? He's like, no. Your Bane voice is terrible. It just sounds like Yoda. Like, no, it doesn't. He's like, judge me by my size, do you? You know, like, no. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. Like, see, what?
All right,
If Yoda
do
sounded like Bane, you know what I'm saying?
do the you merely adopted the darkness thing.
You merely adopted the darkness. I was born in it. Raised in it.
Molded
When
by it.
molded by it. When I finally saw the light, I found it blinding. Yeah.
I didn't see the light until I was already a man.
Ah, yes. Hey, I haven't seen the movie in a while.
Oh man. I saw a list this week of the 10 most underrated movies of the decade, and that was like number 2 on the list. And I still don't agree with that. The movie has grown on me. It has, but almost 100% of that is Tom Hardy as Bane. The movie itself is one of the most shoddily written fucking Batman movies ever made. Not a whole lot in it makes sense, and it's got some really bad acting in it in a few parts.
I wonder how much of it was actually going to be about, Knight's End, the whole, breaks his back and he comes back, with when it was going to have the Joker in it. If it was going to, or what that movie would have been.
I don't know.
I want to know what.
I want to
Yeah.
see the cut of the movie with all of Bane's original dialogue before they re-recorded everything he said, and he completely changed the performance.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was much the same with just different, slightly different reading. Well, I think there's an alternate version of Heath Ledger's performance too.
There's a video on YouTube that shows the original Bane. His everything he says sounds a little different. He sounds like he's drugged. He sounds like someone who's constantly getting painkillers dumped into their body. And like in the theatrical version, like, what's your plan now? Crashing this plane with no survivors. And in the original, it's like crashing this plane with no survivors.
Yeah, a little more energy in the voice. He's
A
kind of
lot
sounds like
more energy in the voice.
the lethargic Bane.
Much more. He sounds much more calm and cold, and in the theatrical version, he's much more comedic almost. He's got an almost joking tone to his voice sometimes.
So what do you think of the Joker Lex Luthor? Do you agree with that?
The what?
That Jesse Eisenberg's Joker Luthor.
No, Riddler.
Riddler?
Riddler all the way. That was a portrayal of Edward Enigma, the Riddler.
No, but not Lex Luthor.
But not Lex Luthor. But it wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to be Lex Jr. Thing is, it wasn't Lex Jr. either.
I don't know what it was.
In the comics,
I don't know what it was.
in the comics, Lex Jr. has basically the exact opposite reputation of Lex Luthor. Fucking Supergirl is his lover. It's still Lex Luthor, but he's pretending to be a good guy. He's in a clone body.
Yeah, but I mean, he completely snaps at the end. Don't you think? You think he's just completely insane by the end of the movie, or was he always just crazy?
He was always crazy. He's crazy from the start of the movie.
Right. But he's at the end. He's just like ding, 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 ding. Right.
He decided to play him as a caricature of what we think fucking the guy from Facebook.
Well, I mean, but he's basically thinks he's won. His job was to kill the god, and so that the invading forces for the next movie and on will be able to take over Earth, right? Without Superman there, right?
Yeah, I think what we're going to see in the next movie is Darkseid reviving Superman and brainwashing him like he did in the animated series.
But that it's kind of the setup is that he's got to kill him. Is that's why he's there? You know,
Kill who?
Superman. Got to kill him. Get him out of the way. Right.
Well, when they showed Doomsday in the trailer, that's what I said. I said, God damn it, Superman better die, or they've just wasted Doomsday.
Well, I think what happens is like Injustice, where Lois Lane, because Flash says Lois is the key. I think Lois dies, and Superman turns bad, and decides to kill in his war against the Darkseid's forces.
So something like Injustice.
Yeah. He goes evil because Lois dies.
Boy, the people who only know Superman and Batman from the fucking movies would shit their pants if they did a movie of Injustice.
Yeah.
Superman straight up shoves his entire arm through the Joker at the beginning of that story. He doesn't just kill him, he kills the fuck out of him.
Yeah, but what if they do that and he just kills Jared Leto, right?
Fine.
In front of Ben Affleck, and people will be like,
The audience will cheer because everybody already hates Jared Leto Joker.
I don't like it. He's too blonde.
I don't like it because he's the Frank Miller Joker, and I don't like Frank Miller Joker.
I should like Jared Leto, but I also hate his guts.
Well, I remember there was something shady about him, but I couldn't remember. And then I looked it up, and I found out that he's like a creepy rapist.
He plays creepy well.
No, I mean literally. He's in real life, he's a fucking creepy rapist. There's all sorts of accusations against this guy for being really, 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 really rapey with his fans.
Oh, nice. That's
yeah,
rapey with the fans.
Yeah, like taking advantage of very young groupies. Pretty similar to the same shit they say about that guy from Blood on the Dance Floor.
Well, you know what's um, apparently Miley Cyrus has a lot of groupies. I mean, like a ridiculous number of groupies.
I bet she does. She's fucking sexy.
And regularly on the show, the stage is right there, so she'll like dip her butt into the crowd and let him like grope her.
Yeah,
Yep.
and they do it.
Yeah, they do. They like try to finger her, and she's like, "Hey, I'm
That's
singing
different.
a song while getting
That's
fingered by my fans."
that's
Like,
different. That's throwing it out there and seeing who wants it. In Leto's case, it's more along the lines of we're doing this whether you want to or not.
oh yeah, well, yeah.
The accusations against him suggest that he's got like a domination fetish. Domination fetish. Okay, Teddy, I saw 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't surprise me actually that Jared Leto's a little rapey. I
Now,
mean, come on, he's in a rush. He's only got 30 seconds to Mars.
that was corny, dude.
Thank you. Yeah,
Anyway, all right. Next topic.
yeah.
I saw 50 Shades of fucking Grey.
Oh, good, good. Did you see the Christian one?
No, not yet. 50 Shades
Okay.
of Grey ended up being way worse than I thought it was going to be.
I saw the Christian one.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're doing like red
We got to
letter.
switch.
We're doing red letter media reviewing Transformers 3 version of the idea I had, I guess. Each of us only saw half of what we were supposed to see.
Right. Well, okay. First off, I guess the chemistry.
Was there chemistry in Old Fashioned?
Yes. No. The girl seemed nice. The girl seemed nice enough. What I don't understand is the guy. He was not approachable at all. I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand why she liked him. Yeah.
Not very attractive guy either, from what I saw.
Yeah, he's like a older guy. He looks like come on, Full Metal Jacket. Matthew Modine.
He looked a
He
bit
looks like Matthew Modine. That's who he looks like.
He looked a bit like Stephen Baldwin to me.
A little bit like that, but with a curly, slightly curly beaver do, which is dumb looking. Dumb as fuck
Well, in
looking.
50 Shades of Grey, we had two terrible actors that couldn't have chemistry because they can't act. First off, I have to comment on the name of the protagonist, Anastasia Steele. Doesn't that sound like a softcore porn name if you've ever heard one?
That sounds like the author of some romance novels.
Yeah, and Christian Grey. And not only is it 50 Shades of Grey, but the movie itself is gray. The color palette of the movie is shades of gray.
Nice.
Gray backgrounds, gray buildings, gray cars, like abnormal amounts of gray. Like a weird number of people in the city seem to drive gray cars. A weird number of people in this city have gray umbrellas. A weird number of people in this city dress in gray.
Because everything's gray.
Yeah. And the second the movie starts, you start laughing because like the most 80s piano riff you've ever heard begins, and you don't recognize it at first, and then it dawns on you that it's that fucking song, I Put a Spell on You Because You're Mine.
What? Why? Why is that happening?
I don't know. honestly, the movie was hilariously bad to the point that it was actually like fun to watch for the first 45 minutes. But once the fucking began, it got really creepy really fast. And it didn't even deliver on the fucking nudity and sex. Like, I thought, okay, I'm at least going to get to see some hardcore fucking in a mainstream movie. This is going to be kind of fun. But the BDSM portrayed in the movie is so motherfucking tame.
Well, I mean,
The only thing he does to her over the entire course of the movie is tie her hands up over her head. The first couple times she's not even tied to anything. He just ties her hands up and puts them above her head. And then he ties her up to like a hanging thing by her hands and lightly slaps her with a fucking riding crop a couple times. And then at the very end, when she's like having her freak out, why do you want to hit me? And she's like, all right, I want to see the worst of it. I want you to give me the worst of it. Apparently, the worst of it is getting spanked 6 times with a regular ass belt. And afterwards, she's like, you are never going to do that to me again. And she leaves and like, yeah, she just leaves. And that's the end of the movie. Elevator door shut, movie over.
but she breaks up with him?
Yes, they don't end up together in the end. And
but there's 2 more movies?
Yes, there's 2 more movies coming. But in his case,
Why?
he reveals that he is the way he is because when he was a fucking like 15 or 16-year-old boy, he got sexually abused by one of his mother's friends who used him as a sex slave, and that opened up my world.
Dude, why?
I know, right? It's the most fucking fucked up thing I've ever heard.
But that's why he does what he does.
Yes, because it's a cycle of abuse, but he doesn't see it as a cycle of abuse. He sees it as a cycle of sexual enlightenment.
Okay.
He tries to talk her into like vaginal and anal fisting and stuff.
So I understand why people are more offended by who are in the BDSM thing than are more offended by that, because it implies that you have to be damaged in order to want to do BDSM.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that part of the story. I guess in the book he ignores the safe word at one point. That doesn't happen in the movie.
Okay.
But I know that was the most taboo thing amongst the BDSM people. They're like, oh my fucking God, you just don't do that.
Yeah, and I saw somebody on YouTube who was into BDSM like talking about the difference. He's like he acted sadistic. He was sadistic, and sadisticness is not part of bondage. It was like I know. It's a punchline.
It's literally in the name.
Is not part of bondage, domination, and sadomasochism. Right. Yeah. Sadism is not part of sadism, masochism. Okay, no. It's like, okay, it's totally part of it. It's of the BDSM, right?
It's literally an entire side of the coin.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, it's part of the whole thing. He was acting sadistic, and I'm like, he's whatever. At that point, I turned off the video, and I'm like, okay, whatever. So,
Here's the thing, though. He's creepy and he's controlling, but sadistic? I don't think that's the right word to describe this guy. I would call him codependent.
Well, I mean, if it's not even the thing. I mean, it's like the spanking is something that I don't know. This is a better depiction of it than it's ever been on cinema before. Back in the day, the BDSM thing in the movies was usually portrayed as some fat guy in his underwear getting spanked, or whipped by some hooker in a hotel room somewhere. You know what I mean?
Or it's always portrayed as very rapey too, like it's always being forced on the other person.
Right. It's always being forced on, and even recently, what with the Bruno movie with the Borat guy was
Oh
getting
yeah, yeah,
he was
yeah.
basically being attacked by a BDSM chick. You know what I mean?
Or Eurotrip, he goes to that fucking sex club and she like gives him a safe word that he can't even pronounce because it's like a
Right.
seven
Right.
syllable fucking Northern European word.
Or Jackass. And that
Or
Jackass.
jackass.
Right. And I don't know why they're so sensitive about how this is portrayed. I don't get it.
I don't either. And honestly, I mean, like, both characters are fucked up, damaged people that are only doing more damage to each other by having knowing each other. It's Twilight.
Yeah.
And
I see the
okay,
Twilight.
okay, that deserves to be commented on. You can totally point out the moments where she took a scene from Twilight and just rewrote it. Like in Twilight, Edward uses his super vampire speed to stop a car from crashing into Bella. In 50 Shades of Grey, Christian Grey yanks Anastasia Steele off the road as a car is about to run her completely the fuck over. In Twilight, Edward takes Bella through for a run through the woods using his vampire powers and showing off how strong he is and how crazy his powers are. In 50 Shades of Grey, he takes her on a helicopter ride to show off how wealthy he is and how he can do anything he wants.
Oh my God. So the Christian version is nowhere near as interesting or eventful as anything like that at all. You
No,
have quite a snooze in front of you as far as that movie's concerned.
he's just a rich guy who has a sex dungeon.
Well, in the Christian version, he's just a guy who owns an antique store. Right.
Really?
He, yeah. She rents an apartment above his place of business. And then, like, he comes over to fix something in the apartment. And he's like, I can't come in. He's like, well, come on in. He's like, I'm forbidden from being in an apartment with a beautiful woman alone. Like, and you're like, oh, you think I'm beautiful? It's because right because of his beliefs, and he's like, and so, but there's this whole thing with his beliefs that he's not even allowed to talk to a woman. How do you get to marry a woman? Can't do it until you get married. I mean, that's the whole point in the movie, right? Can't do it till you get married. But how do you even get there without? I don't understand. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. Anyway, how does he even have a conversation with her? He can't be alone in the room with her. So what she has to do is she has to stand outside her apartment while he goes in and fixes whatever's wrong in the apartment, right? And he can't go on a date with her because she's interested in him. It's all this stupid one-way shit where she's interested in him, right? And he's acting all like weird. You still there? Hello? Oh, I think I lost you. Hello? What happened? Where'd you go? Okay. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's happening? Is the show still on the air? We'll see here in a second.
No wonder he is reunion.
Did I lose you? You lose me. Do, 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 do. It's live now. One person watching. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Oh my
Do do
god.
do
You're
do.
fucking
Do
retarded.
do 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 do. Hey, what's going on? Hello?
Jesus.
Hello? Whoa. Hello? What happened? Hello? Hmm. Yeah. Weird. It's echoing weird. Uh, 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 uh. It's funny stuff.
You still there?
Hey. Yep. I'm still here.
Sorry, internet cut out.
No, it's all right.
But what I was asking was, he's like an ex Girls Gone Wild cameraman or something, isn't he?
Which guy?
In Old Fashioned.
They kill
Yeah.
cocksuckers, I do.
Well, he's like he used to be.
Let's go on a killing spree.
He used to work with some guy. This guy is like a radio DJ, and he talks about like women and like because he's like a shock jock kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? He's like like a Howard Stern type guy. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
And
trying.
he's all sensitive. He's all sensitive because he's all religious now. But yeah, he didn't used to be religious. He was a sinner, but now he's turned fucking Christ and shit.
Oh, God.
But
Can't be.
in a very bland way. Very bland. It's boring. It's mostly boring movie. She can only get him to come by to fix something like the sink or something, right? Right. Still there? Did you cut out on me again? Man. Sink or something, right? What?
Oh my god, what are you?
Hello? Still there? You still there? Hello? What's going on? Man. Hello?
Oh my god, what are you?
Hello? Still there? Hello? Oh man. Hello? What? Hello? Still there? Hello? This is crazy. Hello? 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 Can you hear me? Hello? Oh man. Hello? Oh man. Hello? It's crazy. Hello? Hello? What is going on? Yeah. Hello? Hey.
Oh my god.
I see you. I don't hear you though. Hello? Hello? Hey. Oh man, I think I lost you. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Yeah. Well, that was just weird. I had the audio on the browser, and I was just making noises, and it was echoing and shit. It was weird. Yeah. When I was just going hello, and then my voice come back and be like hello. It was wacky.
My fucking internet connection is unstable as shit all the time during the summer. I don't know if it's the heat, the humidity, the fucking the weather. I like I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, if we get cut off again,
If we get cut off again, I'm just gonna stop because it's just gonna keep on doing it for a while.
all right. Okay, we got 2 bits of news, right?
Okay.
All right. The first bit of news is that Batman versus Superman disc won't change minds. It won't change minds. Okay. Basically, the guy who the cinematographer on the film, who has worked on both 300 and what's the other one? Sucker Punch with Zack Snyder. Right. He says that the new edit of the film is better, but if you didn't like it, you're not gonna like it. You know what I mean?
Well, seeing the movie wasn't going to change minds either. People had already decided to hate that movie before it came out.
Yeah, they did. And that's unfortunate. You know, everybody. My mind was. I consider myself very open minded, and I was open minded, but at the same time, I changed my mind. Batman. He did a good job.
The only thing about it I didn't like, really, was Jesse Eisenberg. The rest of it I thought was fine.
Yes, you did. Okay. Oh, you're still there. Oh no, I did lose you.
No.
Okay, good.
But the only part of that movie I didn't like was Jesse Eisenberg.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
I said the only thing I didn't like about the movie was Jesse Eisenberg.
Right. But is he Lex Luthor? Right? Is he really? I mean, I guess he is. He's this universe's Lex Luthor.
He played the character he played in the movie Now You See Me.
Yeah, but much more crazy.
Yes.
Much more sinister. But still devious. I mean, his guy was devious in that movie too. I mean,
I still say he's a better Lex Luthor than Gene Hackman.
Really?
Gene Hackman is a terrible Lex Luthor. He's a good character, but he's a terrible Lex Luthor.
Well, for what you want Lex Luthor to be.
Intelligent?
Well, I kind of thought that Joaquin Phoenix would have been a good Lex Luthor. I think, like, shave his head. I think he'd look about the part.
Joaquin? I don't like Joaquin Phoenix. I think he's a kind of sucky.
Joaquin. I mean, same part, same lines. Even the ding, 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 ding at the end. You know.
I don't really remember the end all that well. I remember the trail of snot.
He's in the prison cell, right? And then, like, Batman, lights go dark, and then Batman is in the cell with him, and he's going to brand him or something, but he punches the wall instead. He brands the wall. I don't know. And he's just acting like, it's too late. It's already, the god is dead. The god is dead. You know, he's just babbling, really. Batman's just like, you know, well, fuck you, you're crazy, and punches the wall, right?
Mm.
And then when he leaves, he's like hugging the bars, going, he's coming. The dinner bell's been rung. Ding, 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 ding. Right? Like he's coming to eat the planet because now Superman's dead. No one can save the planet. Everyone's going to get eaten, basically. It's like dinner bell's been rung, right? Which, I don't know. That he, giving him these lines, that's important. That casting of who's Lex Luthor. Maybe another actor doing those same lines could have made it so it wasn't so silly. It just seemed so silly.
Probably someone who was more menacing as a person. Jesse Eisenberg is not a very intimidating looking guy. He's short, he's scrawny, he has a very youthful face.
Yeah.
He looks like a kid.
Yeah.
And he's going to keep looking like a kid for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Just because, you know, that's his build. He's full grown. That's what he's going to look like.
I've liked him in other movies. I just didn't like him in this one. I felt that anybody else could have done that better.
And probably should have or could have, you know.
Yeah. But I also have read that Jesse Eisenberg is going to come back, and he really wants to enhance the Lex Luthor character.
I was really hoping I'd see a Lex bot at the end. I was hoping he'd show up.
Okay, wait. I do agree with one other major criticism about the movie.
Yeah.
The way they resolve Batman and Superman's fight is really fucking stupid.
I understand it on the level that he thought he wasn't a man, and he's like, "Oh my God, he is a man."
I know, but Martha, why did you say that?
He has a mother. He has a mother, just like I have a mother. You know, he is a man, right? But then
appropriate
mind, then it replays not just his parents' death, but that's kind of implying that he's rethinking a lot of things, right? And he's thinking about, wait a minute, I've been tricked, right?
Yeah. But the most appropriate joke I've ever
framed Superman were the guys that he basically killed. The guy with the flamethrower that he killed in exactly the same way that he killed that one guy in The Dark Knight Returns, right?
Yeah.
Just bam. He's like, I'm serious. I believe you. Boom, right? That was cool. I thought that line was delivered excellently. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's Batman. Right?
Oh, no, I have no problem with Batman or Superman in the movie. I think they were both great. I just didn't like that moment.
He is Frank Batman. He pulled the trigger. He fucking shot that guy, though. It's straight up. Yeah, he's
a very unhinged, very crazy Batman, but that's okay because I kind of wish more movies would go into the fact that Batman is, in fact, an unstable and pretty insane person. He's got a whole host of mental illnesses, and the most prominent of which is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
He's very shell-shocked that seeing his parents died fucked him up mentally. It didn't inspire him. It fucked him up.
Yeah, he's like, his Batman is mentally unstable, right?
He's intelligent. Yes, he is still the intelligent man that we all know he is. He's still the world's greatest detective, but that doesn't mean he isn't fucking crazy. Plenty of crazy people are also extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm. And he's Batman, right?
Yeah, he's Batman. I did like Doomsday. I liked how they did Doomsday. They did him exactly like I thought they were going to do him. And I was fine with it. I kind of wish that he had been allowed to evolve a little bit more and look more like, classic Doomsday, because they were getting there, but the fight wasn't all that long. My favorite moment from that whole fight, though, is when he, knocks the shit out of Wonder Woman and she, she sits up and she grins, and she's like, "Oh yeah, this is a good fight."
Yeah, well, I mean, she's fearless with the fighting of the creature, and really, she should have killed the creature. I mean, she says before, you know.
Yeah, but they had to. No, you got to have Superman to kill Doomsday. The whole reason Doomsday exists is to kill Superman while Superman kills him.
Right.
Aside from that, that's literally the beginning and end of the description of his character.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, he's just a monster. He's not terribly complicated. His backstory isn't terribly complicated. He's just a simple idea. A monster that can kill Superman with his bare hands.
And a fairly well depicted, I think. I mean, as far as my perspective on Doomsday, I think that was a decent version of Doomsday.
He had a bunch of powers he doesn't have in the comic books, but that's fine because they were fucking incredible to see in 3D. Those big ass, like, he kept letting out this explosion move that reminded me of Dragon Ball Z, Vegeta blowing himself up to kill Majin Buu. He just, like...
He went on like a Tesla thing with these bolts of electricity that devastated everything it touched.
Yeah, like he sent out waves of destruction. It was fucking great.
But just how useless fucking Batman was. I mean, he had to run, hide, and like dodge the blasts all over the place.
Yeah, but honestly,
like shooting from a distance. Yes, if Wonder Woman had him caught in the rope and he shot it with the green gas, and that's when he hit him. So they really did work as a team. They're like, oh, they worked as a team.
Realistically, though, in any incarnation of the character, Batman really can't do anything against Doomsday. Nobody really can.
I don't know what Batman's role is going to be when he takes on Doomsday.
He doesn't have a role. It's Superman's job to fight Doomsday. Batman might come up with ways to slow him down, but I think Batman has come up with ideas for how to keep him dead or at least keep him under control, but taking him down is something that you got to have somebody who's actually a superhuman to do. One of his ideas was to put Doomsday in 4 teleporters so that he's never more than 25% materialized at any given time.
Now, the story right now, though, is, okay, the next project, Justice League, is being shot as we speak, right? Oh, my God. And then they're going to do the Batman solo movie. And you know which villains they're going to have in it?
Riddler and Scarecrow.
Fucking yes. Yes.
Really?
and
Dude,
then...
I was guessing. Did I actually get that right?
No, but and then... you know, like from Dude, Where's My Car? And then...
Give
me another
Mr. Freeze.
Probably.
I would
say, but every single one you can think of.
Oh, okay. Well, there's lots of stories they could base that on, actually.
Right. And so so they said it was something where they were like which villains they were going to put in there, and they're like, yes, we're going to try and put every single villain in the universe.
That might mean that they're going to do Arkham Asylum.
Mm-hmm.
Not the game, the comic book Arkham Asylum that
right.
Loosely based on.
Or the story from Night's End, similar along those lines, right? Where the whole Arkham is really let loose, and Batman is pushed to his limits. But what I'm afraid of is that they say we'll see bits, and you know how these movies are with Easter eggs. I think that's what they might mean. You know, like Ooh, there's a question mark over there. Ooh. Worse yet is that Dick Grayson just walks into his apartment, turns on his computer, and sees a bunch of emails with question marks and little penguins on them, right?
Well, if they're gonna put a lot of his rogues gallery in it, Batman is unique in that his rogues gallery. There's a lot of recognizable names in his rogues gallery of other superheroes. Like, name just five from Superman's.
Oh, well, okay. Lex Luthor,
Lex Luthor,
Brainiac,
Brainiac,
Lex, Bizarro, Superman, um, and Metallo.
Okay. Now name four more.
Zod.
Oh yeah. Darkseid.
The other Brainiac. There's two Brainiacs.
There's a lot. There's a lot of Brainiacs.
Yeah.
But,
He's
okay.
Maybe
He's not all that unique in that regard. He's unique compared to like like Iron Man. Iron Man's rogues gallery isn't that good.
Non-existent with the Iron Man. Non-existent. Who's Iron Man's rogues gallery? That was what I was about to say.
The Mandarin,
and then they didn't even use him. They didn't even use
Obadiah Stane.
Right, but he's not even a major villain in the comics.
No,
They didn't really use any of his villains from the comics. I mean, his villains include like Whiplash, Great Gargoyle, shit like that. Never used any of those characters at all.
Whiplash was in the second one.
Well, but he wasn't Whiplash.
Well, okay, yeah, he was a combination of two of his villains, actually.
Right. He was like the Crimson Dynamo, who was the Russian Iron Man, also Titanium Man. I don't know. I don't know. He's all the villains he fought. Yes, the first villain was actually a combination of two different guys.
But okay.
Because Obadiah was one guy, but that character in the comics never wore an Iron Man suit.
Okay, but back to the point. Batman has like Two-Face and Joker and Penguin and Catwoman and Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze and Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul and Killer Croc and...
I say you don't need a lot of villains to have a successful superhero movie franchise.
No, you don't, but...
Blade, he fought his most famous villain in the first movie and killed him. Like, we killed Frost. In the first movie, he's your main villain in the comics. Yeah, he's dead now. But they still made two more movies. Hey, you can do that. You can do that. A lot of people think this, and that's the way it is. The second one will be better than the first one, and the third movie will suck.
I don't think they need a bunch of villains. I'm saying if they're going to do it, then they're going to have to do it in what you said. They're going to have to do Easter eggs and shit for a lot of them, because you just wouldn't be able to introduce them all, because there'd be so many that people would want to see, unless you have like, seriously, what happened. I think this happens in Arkham Asylum, the comic book, but it happens in the fucking the animated series for sure. All the villains get together and hold a trial for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And accuse him of being the reason that they even fucking exist.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, but I mean, like, Dave's got a great rogues gallery, but a lot of those villains are not going to be portrayed quite right on the big screen, and they will almost never be portrayed quite right on the big screen.
Mr. Freeze, if they like, our DC is going for the dark and serious tone, they need to do Mr. Freeze again. Because Mr. Freeze, when done right, can be a very, very, very tragic character. He is a tragic character. He's not an evil dude. He just wants to have his fucking wife back. And he's so fucking fucked up by an experiment going wrong that he can't ever feel warmth ever again. He's probably never even going to be able to touch her once he revives her, but he wants her back in, he wants her to be alive again. In the animated series, that's what happened. He eventually did cure her, but by the time he had cured her, his body had deteriorated to the point where he was just a head in a jar with spider legs that crawled into a body that he could control, like the Borg Queen.
And that was in the cartoons or in the comics too?
Cartoons, probably comics as well.
Yeah, because he was super powered in the comics at one time. Just ridiculously powerful, but he didn't have much body left.
He's my favorite part of Arkham City because the voice they picked for him, I don't know if it's the same guy from the animated series, but he sounds normal while he's in his suit until he powers it up, and then his voice sounds really, really robotic. He's like, "That strategy will never work again, Batman. Your body heat betrays you."
That was a good fight scene too, because you had to keep changing how you attacked him and stuff.
Yeah, I love Arkham City, dude. I fucking love that game.
Well, that one's just like the other games. Is like the movies too, because the first one's good, the second one's better, the third one's not as good.
I think the third one is fine. The third one doesn't bring anything new to the series. It takes what Arkham City is and just adds a hell of a lot more of everything to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like the Dark Knight movies. I mean, Batman Begins is good. Dark Knight is better. Dark Knight Rises is not as good.
Yeah, I wonder if Nolan realized how fucked he was when Ledger died.
Well, he did what he could.
He did.
And made him $1 billion. And people went to see that opening weekend, even though there were shootings going on. I mean, that's people love Batman.
The worst scene in The Dark Knight Rises, I'm pretty sure I've said times on the podcast since we've started doing this show, but the worst scene in Dark Knight Rises is Talia's death scene. That scene is so fucking poorly acted.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't look like she's received any kind of damage. She looks like she's just sitting there digging her chin into her chest, like trying to give herself fat face.
Yeah, I and she's right there. I don't know what she's.
My father's work is complete.
Yeah, like what? Okay.
The way she dies makes me think of this episode, this thing they did in South Park, Canadian Shakespeare. Good night, buddy, and flights of angels take you to your rest. Blah.
Blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She just dies like that. The first time I saw it, I was watching it with my best friend, and we both started cracking the fuck up because we both noticed it at the same time. We're both like, "What the fuck was that?" She just
dead, and Bane's dead too. He gets shot by Catwoman. That's how he dies.
That was so unsatisfactory.
Yep. Bane's dead. He got shot by Catwoman. Shot him. Oh, okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Talia herself, I don't know if Talia al Ghul, the character in the comics, has ever been that malicious towards Batman. It's weird. And Batman hallucinating fucking Raish and him giving him visions and shit, that was weird. And the fact that he falls down that fucking hole twice and his spine doesn't break again from having that very tight rope strung around his body, and then no,
he's fine.
He's fine. Yeah,
he's Batman.
He's Batman. Yeah. The trick is you do it without the rope.
Right. Because it's the fear.
And there's in DBZ abridged, in the abridged version of the movie The Return of Cooler, there's this in the movie, they're fighting these robots that they can't seem to damage. And in the abridged version, Piccolo's like, I figured it out. We just need to hit them really, really hard. And that was Bane's weakness. You just have to punch him really, really hard in the face. Who would have thunk it? I mean, who would have ever thought the weakness of this unstoppable villain is that you just got to punch him in the fucking face really goddamn hard, and that'll do it.
Now, I believe that there was a original version of the movie where Batman shows up after the city's been taken over for the final fight with Batman with Bane in a new suit. A new suit that was different because it had bigger gloves.
That would have been cool.
That would have been cool. That would have been satisfactory for why he was able to punch him this time harder than he was before.
The
also would, because the problem also with Dark Knight Rises, it just carried over a lot of shit from the previous movie. He's still riding the motorcycle that he had from the other movie, this escape pod from the Batmobile.
Yeah, he
Right?
never bothered. He never gets another tumbler.
And he never gets another. He never wears another suit. He's wearing the same suit from the previous movie. They never do that, and that's the only time they've ever done that. The suit's that good? The suit's that good.
It's not the same suit from the first movie, though. At least.
No. He got another one in Dark Knight.
But that
right.
being said, I do not see the difference between the suit in the first movie and the suit in the second movie. I know there are differences, but I do not see them.
The second movie suit is cooler.
I'm sure it is, but I don't see the difference. They're such featureless suits.
More in the shoulder pads, more chest pieces, more pieces, right? The first suit was more of a rubber suit that had some vent holes.
And
right.
The second movie, it's more segmented, I think.
Right, yeah, lots of panels, more like a suit of armor, like he's the knight. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. He's the knight.
Makes him a lot more susceptible to fucking knives, though.
Which he switches that suit after he gets attacked by some dogs.
But what I mean is it's not that drastic of a change. If they didn't include the scene where they're like, you want to be able to move your head, okay. If they didn't include that, I would not have even noticed he had a different suit. It's like the differences in Superman's suit in Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman. There's apparently a difference there, and I don't see what the fuck it is.
It's not much. It's literally the subtlest change.
I think the colors are brighter.
He wears a different Iron Man suit in every Iron Man movie, and really, there's not a lot of differences. Not a lot.
No, because the main Iron Man suit that he wears is always gold and red.
Right.
The design has subtle changes, but they're not enough to make you go, oh, it's a whole different suit. It's only when he decides to bust out all his fucking special suits that you're like, oh, okay, now we're getting some new suits.
Right. Well, in Iron Man 3, his suit had gold panels on his chest, right? In the Avengers one had some more metal-colored parts on his legs.
I am never going to cut that movie any slack.
Avengers?
No, Iron Man 3. People have said retrospectively it's not that bad. I'm never going to cut that movie any slack. Iron Man 3 sucked.
Iron Man 3 is like Spider-Man 3. It didn't have a cringeworthy dance scene.
It was cringeworthy from beginning to end. It's cringeworthy from the moment they play, yo, listen now, here's the story about a little blue man. And Tony Stark has PTSD that's resolved by a little 7-year-old kid telling him, just grow a sack and get over it. Okay.
But he doesn't really get over it. He doesn't.
And the Iron Man suit used to be able to take a fucking tank shot head on. And in this movie, they have the durability of TIE fighters. and he threatens a terrorist and gives him his address, and for some reason goes home and puts on the one suit that's not ready to go when he's got like at least 40 other suits to choose from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, there's some dumb mistakes, but in two as well. Two has plenty of stupid mistakes. You
I
know,
liked 2 more than 3.
two was like, I mean, everything resolved itself really fucking quickly. I mean, and I like the part where he uses that laser blast that just cuts through everybody, and he's like, you should open with that attack next time.
He's like, I can only do it once, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good point. I can only do it once. I got to make sure I use it at the right time.
Right. But it's a good it's an enjoyable comic book. You know, I mean, it doesn't always have to make sense.
I like how they set up that.
None of them are that bad so far. You know, we will eventually see a Marvel movies that's that bad. You know,
I like how they set up and pay off that little bunker buster that they put into the War Machine suit, the one that the other company makes, and then it doesn't do a fucking thing.
The ex-wife.
Yeah, the ex-wife.
Yeah.
He's like, this thing is a fucking bunker buster, and you're like, oh my god, I can't wait to see that get used, and then it just bounces off him like a fucking fire, like a bottle rocket.
Yeah, it's like it was made of cardboard. Just hilarious. But I mean, why did he let him have full run in the fucking lab and create all these robots that of course.
Because he was making the robots. He didn't have any reason to fuck this guy over.
Well, I mean, he didn't even. The robots were already there. Even he just pulled out the guts and put in drone heads and stuff.
Well, no, they contacted him to help them figure out the power source. Because Tony Stark hadn't shared the arc reactor technology, but Vanko figured it out himself. So they picked him, and they're like, hey, you know how to fucking design these suits. Figure out how to power these suits for us, we'll pay you. And then as he's doing that, he also happens to start turning them into drones.
Right.
And he is arguably correct when he says drone better.
Right.
If I was the fucking guy in the movie, I don't think I would have been pissed off when I saw he turned them into drones. I would have been like, huh, that's a good idea. Then we don't even need soldiers.
Well, he doesn't care about that part. He wants to just sell it.
He just wants to be the guy who figures out how to make Tony Stark's Iron Man suit. He wants to beat him in that regard.
Mm-hmm. And the War Machine suit is presented as one of his suits.
Yes.
Right.
Because he straps some guns onto it.
Right. It's the what was a hammer suit, right?
Yeah. I like the War Machine suit though. I think it looks cooler than the basic Iron Man suit. And actually, in all of the Iron Man movies, my favorite Iron Man suit that they've shown is actually the very first one.
Mm-hmm.
That thing was fucking awesome. I like it because it's the only one that I like it the most because it's the only one that seems feasible.
Right. The one that he breaks out of the terrorist camp with, right?
Yeah, I mean the flying part doesn't seem feasible, but the rest of it does.
Right. And that's how he sells it, though. I mean, that's how the movie sells it. You know what I mean? That's why the first movie's so good.
They even admit, like,
the third act is not very good with Iron Man 1.
They even admit, like, as they're building it, when he makes the arc reactor, he's like, this is only going to power it for about 5 minutes. And yeah, if you built something like that and did manage to find a power source for it, it probably still is not going to last very fucking long. But
Right.
you're going to do a hell of a lot of damage with something like that while you have power.
Hmm. Well, I mean, yeah, I like the first Iron Man. Like I said, the first half of the first Iron Man movie, anyway, is the best.
I like the first Iron Man the most. I think it's a well made movie from beginning to end. You never trust that Obadiah Stane guy. They build him up to be a villain just fine. They throw you a nice little red herring with the fucking Middle Eastern terrorists, where you're like, oh, they were just pawns.
Hmm.
And Gwyneth Paltrow isn't as intolerable in this one. It doesn't get bogged down by a fuck ton of other Marvel characters. It's got a great post-credit scene. It's got a decent end fight. And it's fun to watch him design the Iron Man suits.
Yeah, yeah. That's Robert Downey Jr. is shining, just being in the lab by himself.
Yeah. And this is just 90s nostalgia for me, but it was nice to see Robert Downey Jr. come back from the grave and come back. It's amazing. The kids today don't realize just how amazing of a comeback that man has made.
Right. No,
He
I know.
was a he was a fucking fuck up when we were younger, wasn't he?
Hmm.
He was like a Charlie Sheen level fuck up.
Oh yeah, and earlier too.
And I ain't trying to criticize the guy. I'm saying that like that's how he was. He has a past and he overcame that shit and he's doing fucking great for himself right now and good for him.
And that's why he was good as Tony Stark, because he also had that past like that.
Yeah. I got to admit though, the first time I saw Iron Man, I was like, "Oh, is he still doing the cocaine?" he
Yeah.
comes off as very coked up, his Tony Stark, or at least wired on caffeine.
Yeah, he's great in that movie. I like the way the beginning of the movie starts and then backs up again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, where you yeah, it's really well done. But the other movies don't live up to that. It can't. None of like almost none of the other Marvel movies do that time thing where they see something and backs up again, because they can't. They're now part of a bigger timeline. You know. And
Better
the bigger they get, the more complicated. I think the fatigue's going to set it big time with the Marvel movie.
fatigue has already set in with me for the Marvel movies. It started setting in right around the time of Winter Soldier, and it got worse with Avengers 2.
Well, now the new approach is not to call it Infinity War Part 1 and 2, because they know it's fatigue is setting in, so they want to set them apart as two separate things, not as beginning of something in the end. You know, because the market was a couple of years ago that Harry Potter, The Deathly Hallows Part 2 could be the most successful one. But now there's too much of that. There's too much of that.
Because here's the thing. They did that with Harry Potter because the last Harry Potter book is pretty big. And the previous 4 books in Harry Potter are also pretty damn big. Goblet of Fire is the longest one, I think. No, Order of the Phoenix is the longest one. I think it's like 900 pages, but it's the shortest movie in the series. And
Right.
so much shit was getting left out of the story that they're like, fuck it, we're just going to split Deathly Hollows into 2 so we can get the whole fucking story told, because there's a lot of shit that happens in Deathly Hollows.
Well, I mean, but with comic book characters, there's not going to be any end. they're always going to tease that somebody's going to die, but it's going to ultimately that the superhero shit carries on, right? There's not going to be any real conclusion. Maybe like at phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, then it's going to end. He's like, no, this isn't going to end. Where do you think it's going to go from here?
They are going to milk this. You know what's coming? You know what's coming? You know what's coming, Teddy?
What?
A Squirrel Girl movie. It'll happen.
Oh yeah. Well,
Because Squirrel Girl, people have learned about Squirrel Girl, and she's gaining popularity. And there's gonna be a Squirrel Girl movie eventually.
well, I mean, even if Disney is pushing for some animated Marvel characters, like they did with the Big Hero 6, we're going to see more of that too. Where if it doesn't fit into a live action, it's a little too silly for that. They'll make it animated. No problem.
There's already a whole ton of that.
Yeah, and it'll fit in real nice.
There's a whole ton of that for DC too. The DC animated movies are arguably be fucking better than their live action movies.
Yeah, and well, you heard that Disney Infinity is closing up shop.
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's these little figurines.
Oh,
like
fucking
Sky.
Amiibo. Yeah.
Right. Skyland is. But I see this new stuff coming out, and Lego just launched the Dimensions, which is a little same thing. We put Lego characters into the game.
The Oculus is out.
That might have something to do with it.
That's
what the next generation is looking like. Everybody's saying, okay, here's the thing. NX, nobody knows what NXT is or whatever, right? Or NX, whatever. It might be virtual reality.
It might be. Nintendo's the only company that hasn't announced a move towards virtual reality or augmented reality. Microsoft and Sony both have, and the PC market has the Oculus and whatever the hell that other model is called.
Right. Xbox One can't handle it. And they want to come up with some new thing that will.
Well, Microsoft is going to do augmented reality, a set of glasses you put on that projects holograms in the room you're in.
Right.
That you can manipulate with your hands.
And Google's going to have their own setup too. It's going to be interesting to see how many people are willing to invest in this. Right.
Well, my friend who I invited to join this podcast, but I guess decided not to or didn't get the message, he has an Oculus Rift, and he says it's fucking amazing. He says that his depth perception is actually better while using the Oculus. Like he finally fully understands what the idea of depth is in vision.
Well, I mean, I can imagine how weird it's going to be. You're going to have a lot of, but they don't yet have the killer app.
Oh no, they'll figure it out though.
There's no game that everyone's like, oh, you got to play this game in Oculus Rift. It's the experience in general that's pretty crazy. You know.
Well, currently it's mostly games that have been retroactively modded to work on the Oculus, but they'll figure it out. Somebody's going to figure out a winning formula for 3D great depth motion head tracking fucking VR. They're going to figure that out real quick.
Oh yeah. There's already some games that are pretty wacky that look a lot of fun. I've seen people playing on there, and but you only just watching a video of somebody doing it. It's like that's one thing. To actually do it yourself, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine it either. I desperately want to try a a display model or something. Give it a shot.
But I mean, it's
I think
one guy was talking about. He's like the games are interesting. The experience is cool. I mean, it's very immersive. You got to give yourself some space because you might run into things because it's very immersive. And the porn, yeah. Oh yeah, like wait a minute, wait, what?
Oh yeah, VR. Since the fucking Oculus was announced on Kickstarter, people had immediately started working on virtual reality porn to work on it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a whole
Um,
new dimension.
I
And
think
I mean, yeah,
I think if the Oculus is to soar, they need it needs to be connected to Call of Duty, Elder Scrolls, and Grand Theft Auto, or at least the VR helmets from the various companies need to be implemented into those series.
yeah.
Because the
It's
Call of
experience.
then you've got the casual Call of Duty gamers that just like multiplayer play. You've got the obsessive RPG players who play Skyrim, and you've got the people who like to just fuck shit up in a big open world from Grand Theft Auto. That's damn near your whole mainstream market right there. And if you want to get the whole mainstream market, attach it to Madden somehow.
Virtual reality football.
I mean,
That'd be crazy.
you could have it still be the same over the over the player's viewpoint, just like make it feel like you're just floating above them in the arena, and then you could also set it to where you can be in the fucking dude's helmet and you can fucking see what he sees as the play is happening. Wouldn't that be fucking cool?
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole new world and watching movies. And I think people will be watching Hardcore Henry like 10 years from now with the Oculus Rift.
I do
You
too,
know.
and I think they're going to get sick by doing it.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
According to my friend, though, the side effects that everybody's concerned about really aren't as bad. They're not nearly what you'd think they'd be. He said he has not had a problem with eye strain or headaches or anything along those lines. Little bit of motion sickness, but that's inevitable. You got to get used to it first.
But no real eye strain.
Not really, no. Apparently not. Apparently your eyes relax and look at the 3D as though you're looking at real life.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay. I gotta run. I gotta end the show.
All
Some stuff
righty.
going. But yeah, I'll contact you again on Facebook in a minute or two.
All right. Later on.
All
Good
right,
show.
later. Yeah, yeah. We'll do it again soon.